and it's difficult to get away from her, and she could kind of skip the front line of the Wukong as well. So when you have that wild growth and you have the laning power there, the scaling of this draft here for Dplus Kia is kind of insane.
In his jungle, and just avoiding the ward entirely, has been able to steal quite a lot, the red and the Raptors. Now we got to trade in the bottom lane, and guess who's here? It's the guy who stole the jungle, Pyosik. Coming on in, life is getting low, but Smash is going to be the first to fall. First blood given over to Duckdom, and now Career in a bunch of trouble, has to flash away, but Pyosik is looking for it. One more auto, and the red buff ticks away. It's 2 kills for DNS already.
Yeah, the red buff there, a big problem. Bottom lane, but this is going to be a plate at least here with the corrosion on this turret for Smash picked up. On top of the farm lead he's going to get, so we'll get that corrosion proc there, the base essentially demolish, and then we'll get the first plate. So a lot of progress towards his quest, not to mention the gold that'll go over with it. They'll get this dragon, and as long as Lusa hits a smite button on this, should hit level 6. So this is a really nice start here on the bottom side, or I shouldn't say start, but comeback, so to speak. Big turnaround there for Dplus.
That's going to help push his quest even further ahead of Pyosik. If he can do that, it looks like Pyosik was able to spot him, but will not be challenging this objective, as the bubble has to be flashed. I mean, Duckdom and Life are really putting on the pressure.
Yeah, Life has hit so many of these bubbles. Like, he was able to hit the Aqua Prison on Smash earlier during the all-in as well. Smash didn't flash it, but it meant that he could have flashed it. I don't think it would have necessarily had a kill, but...
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, as Career forced to kind of face check that one. Smash taking a bunch of damage himself, wants to trade it back, has to dodge the bubble, does it very nicely, and gets on in, but still liking the position of Duckdom and Life. We'll see if this breaks out into a full fight as this dragon is getting low. They're going to engage on a Lucid, who just gets wild growth. And now Smash going to push Duckdom away. Lucid still just fine, winning that trade against Pyosik. Showmaker, though, getting very low on the left side, but Pyosik gets the drink, immediately goes down, and Closer is there to follow as well. And now Showmaker is getting in, as one by one the dominoes fall. That's the Slurkle actually kind of predicting that Valkyrie away, but it's just going to be the 3 kills. DK will take it. Lucid is showing here on the bottom side of the map. It feels like he is always here, knowing where his bread is buttered in this meta.
I mean, this Lulu pick makes it so that they can play this way, and he has certainly been, you know, outside of the one time Pyosik caught him off guard and took his camps away and then caught the bottom duo there, he's kind of been camping this lane and making the most important lane get to where it needs to be for this composition to work here for Dplus. Talia gonna Weaver's Wall up here. I don't know if he can do anything to this Cassante.
He's gonna get that slowdown and still holding on to that as he finally does, but she was just too low as he's able to avoid the knockback there.
It looked like in Teamfights, because they've kind of done everything else that they want to do with this comp really well. Pyosik's early game was fantastic, but when we get to a certain point, the Unara is just too big to fail. As Lucid is going to look for an angle here.
Lucid's so fast, sprinting out of the jungle, just able to get in his face. As now they're trying to turn onto Life, who is in a bunch of trouble. Pyosik does get here, but immediately Lucid goes in, and look how gigantic he is with the wild growth. Nobody can touch him. Pyosik just on the run. Duckdom has to flash and barrier, and Showmaker is also so fast. Movement speed is pretty huge as, yeah, he's going to deny that disengage cone and pick up the double kill. And just like that, DK find another good fight.
That was pretty smart from Duckdom, knowing that maybe if he takes this angle, he could get the double cone out, but Showmaker reads it, follow flashes, super patient with his flash uses there as well. Does not let Duckdom mind game him and takes out the kill.
Dude's in a lot of trouble here. Getting ganked by a Lulu as the Glitterland slows him just enough. That really obnoxious slow, and she was going to pick up the kill as the Year of Doo will be put on hold for now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Basically 8 hours, so not much he could do, and eventually the Lulu gank is enough to just hold him in place for the Cassante. And yeah, I still just keep going back to thinking about this Lulu and Bessa combo that you talked about when we saw the draft. We're seeing it in action, and Lucid, he got Eclipse, and he's just untouchable. Like, the shields are insane. The wild growth on top of it is insane, not to mention the CC chain.
I mean, you think about this comp, the only bad target for wild growth is Lulu herself, but she could even use it as like a flash engage tool and safety. Weaver's Wall can't stop me!
Career has a career.
Under siege here, and with the turret taken in bottom lane, Shu is also just going to rotate up here. And I think they should be able to secure this, and maybe even more.
Yeah, I'd be very careful if I were DNS. You can see that they are not going to overextend, but Yeah, it's just kind of trying to stop the bleeding, but not really doing a good job of it, as Showmaker's getting free time up in the top lane to take out this turret.
He has his Realm Warp, so they're like, oh, we need to defend mid. He could Realm Warp over, but then they send everyone over to mid. They don't defend mid, and then Showmaker just gets this turret anyways. That's quickly rebuild that one back up. He's 4 stacks away from his Rod of Ages. We have this Rylai's build here for closer. It's not the burstiest Talia. It's a little bit more utility in this one. It's going to be in that Duck Dom, who's so far behind, needs to do heavy lifting, and Dudu
Ghost is OP when it's Rise who's sprinting at you, and Career with another gank. I don't think Showmaker really needed him, but that's going to be an assist picked up for Career. And yeah, Dudu down as
the Weaver's Wall has to somehow cut this team in half, but they got to find a single target. Showmaker may be that target, or maybe not.
Yeah, they were thinking about it. I think Showmaker's just too fast. It's really difficult to actually collapse on them without hard CC, and the only hard CC they have is Pyosik, basically. That's reliable.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they got his Ghost, and that's all they're going to get. Now they're just going to try to rush this Dragon down and hope that maybe Pyosik could do enough damage alone. Xiu is just waiting. He's 2 levels up.
I mean, they have position on the Dragon, but they are being flanked by Showmaker and Xiu, who are just looking to break down the front door. Now, the Equalizer pretty good for zoning, actually, and they get the objective bounty as well, so nicely played. DK trying to force the fight. It's not going well for them, as the kiting now is not good enough, as there's the engage, the Ambessa on the back line with that Wild Growth, and just like that, it's not even dominoes anymore. Everyone is just falling all at once. Dudu is down. Pyosik, will he get away? No, he will not. The flash comes in. I think that's just the game. At 24 minutes, they're going to try to push bot.
Well, you know, they got the Dragon. That was quite miraculous. Good job on that position on the Equalizer there, Dudu. It got them the Dragon, but as soon as it was gone, Smash said, I'm going in. Lucid starts it off, has that Wild Growth combo. Smash just follows up incredibly well. He's got his Fiend Hunter bolts at the ready. Kraken Slayer set, doesn't even need his 3rd item. Doesn't care about it. And these turrets are gonna fall as Dplus cut through like a hot knife through butter. He respawns here, but it's gonna take some heroics to defend this Nexus.
They didn't really have to go for this, but I think they feel strong enough to just go ahead and send it, as now trying to kite back. Pyosik getting super low to Smash and Showmaker, and just disappears once again, and nobody has the damage to deal with Lucid, as we have seen time and time again, just endless shields. As Dudu comes in, the Equalizer's there once again, but yeah, the hero Dudu once again will be delayed. Triple kill for Lucid, and that is the Nexus falling at 25 minutes. Yeah, Bard's not the only one who can play the pipes, and neither is Nautilus in the jungle. We've been seeing a lot of usage.
Effect, you know, it's not a Sheen item, not a Sheen item, so.
You gotta be careful with what names you use for stuff when everything's got a keyword nowadays. As the slows are coming in, they're looking for Smash. He doesn't have his flash.
Too.
And Pyosik is here.
Oh, Lucid!
But Lucid pops out of the bush. And Pyosik is pretty late, actually, to the party, as First Blood will go over to Rakan. Smash should be in some trouble here, as the drag will get the kill, but now Pyosik might go down, as the TP is coming in, and Showmaker says, give me that kill right now. And they will do exactly that. Definitely the smart thing to do. And that's going to be 2 for 1 here in favor of Dplus Kia.
And they can actually send Smash mid. Matchup, it's a little bit tougher to do so. And now we're seeing Pyosik come down to the bottom lane here, but look where the lane is set up. It's very difficult to actually dive. He is going to be unseen, it looks like here. But, I mean, it's a Rakan. And Smash has flash, and he's basically under turret. So he's just going to chill here while Lucid's like, all right, grubbing it up. He's still waiting. Small wronging.
The long game here, as eventually they're going to get this combo done onto Career. Very nicely layered, as even able to interrupt with the Cataclysm is Pyosik. So they do get that kill down. As you mentioned, a lot of time spent, as now once again the 1v1 Xiu is making Dudu's life hell.
You know, that kill from Showmaker in the bottom lane, but we haven't seen Teamfight echo just yet. He still hasn't skilled his ultimate. He's waiting for that specific moment. And it might be coming up very soon.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble here. Look at this. Pyosik going for the follow-up gank as Duck Dom gets pretty low, and Lucid's like, well, sorry guys, I can't help you out. Double kill for Pyosik, this time showing up for the follow-up.
Showmaker didn't have teleport and did not have enough control to rotate over. It was a very quick call from Pyosik, who's been very decisive throughout this series.
Showing a lot of presence on the top side of the map.
Ooh, life caught.
Yeah, they're going to go in onto this one. The knockup comes in. They don't have a ton of damage, but eventually Life is going to have to do something as in goes Pyosik. The turnaround goes in on the Lucid. They finally get the flash out of the Braum. As we got a 1v1 up on the top side, 1v1 on the bottom side, as Smash is trying to just keep Duckdom at bay, and he should be able to do that. It looks like Pyosik gets away with the flag and drag, but a lot worse for Ware, as he is pretty low, and that just means Lucid gets the free objective.
Yeah, I mean, that was so non-committal for Dplus. They're like, all right, we caught Life by using basic abilities. Duckdom tries to peel with his arrow, can't really get access in. They don't have control of the top side either. And finally, Life is just like, all right, I'm using my sums, I'm out of here. And that means a free Herald does go over, as you say. Closer can't really do anything here. Going to look for a scatter as a consolation prize.
Well, you got Duckdom trying to make things interesting into Career, but Career has a jump path out of there through the Varus.
We're on the map. You can see, like, in mid, there's a small modicum of control. And Showmaker plays this safe, scouts Pyosik, pushes him out.
Oh, they're just going to turn on the Life here in transition. He doesn't have any sums, as you talked about in the last fight, and that's just going to be given over to Smash. So, not sure exactly how they got caught there. It looks like he put down a control ward, and they just got jumped. So, got to be careful where you're walking with no sums Life. Otherwise, that will happen, and that's just going to mean kind of another just free objective given over to Dplus Kia.
Yeah, and Pyosik, I mean, he wanted to try to make something happen to Showmaker. He's unable to do so. Showmaker still has free reign down here. He's even going to commit his ult.
Yeah. Just going in for the extra amount of harass, essentially. Trying to land that ult, just barely not able to.
I mean, look at the mid lane, too. Like, Duckdom isn't there. He's using his arrow here to try to hit Showmaker. Not going to succeed. And now, like, they're going to basically lose a turret in the top side for free. I don't think he's too worried about it, as long as Career's got the bell at the ready.
Trying to get an angle here on a Life once again, who this time is Braum, and it does matter. As now the engage comes in, catches Toon as Career, it's beautiful, they get Duckdom. As Career comes out of basically nowhere. I thought they knew he was there, but Career with the very quick engage was just too much for them to handle.
I thought this was going to be a fun game where Showmaker has a lot of fun with Echo, Valdez.
None of that.
The most fun part was when he had to press Control R and then press R and avoid Syndra's ult damage. And that was it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he practically could have been playing anything in this game. Let's the Lucid show.
And Pyosik just trying to stick around to defend the turret, was never going to be able to. And yeah, I guess he cleared the wave, but he also cleared his own health bar by sticking around. As Lucid had a big smile, Pyosik a big grimace after that one. And there really hasn't been a lot of, game-turning moments in this one.
Where to set up that CC chain, you can't team fight. You can't even exist on the map, really. As between Lucid and this engage from Career, can't even be near your mid-turret. We're too far away, I suppose. The engage is so real, it's so strong here.
Control that you have, and not allowing your opponents to play the game, and just suffocating them. Did a bit of damage there, okay. Smash is also going to be forced to flash away. As in comes Lucid, and in comes Career, and Life is like, well, I guess I'll try my best. There's the charm, as Duckdom's doing a lot of damage to him, but Career does get away, and now we got a TP coming in. Lucid has to go forward, as the ult is insane, pushes two back, and now Showmaker comes over, and Lucid is unkillable with the Sundered Sky, and now we see what a 5v5 looks like when everybody on DK comes on over. As Shiyu gets the angle, hits the needles on a closer who is playing Syndra into Echo and Gwen, the least fun you could ever have as a Syndra.
Yeah, this draft really just did not work out for DNS, and I think that was probably the back-breaking moment here in this game. They're not going to be able to kill the Nexus off of it, but they'll get Baron. They'll take this 8,000 gold lead and send it to the moon.
We got to see a little bit of burst out of the Echo in that fight that you were asking for, Wolf, and it was on to the Ashe, who didn't have flash and had like 30% health. But that 30% went away very quickly, actually all at once, to the Echo. And especially with the double flank coming in from the solo laners was really just impossible to deal with when you're playing Ashe, Syndra.
And you know
really
what, Rakan, He's bandle piping. Just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, he's a little bandle piping. As the Cataclysm is going to stop Dudu from getting in, Showmaker is still playing Echo, and still not going to be punished there, as when becomes Lightning in on a closer, and he is down. And the follow-up with a change from max range from downtown. Smash going to hit it. And this is where DK just kind of turn into the Harlem Globetrotters, and they just begin to really make their opponents look silly. As in they go, Duck Dom. They're sending everything in the kitchen sink beyond that one. As Life and Dudu, they did their best, but their best was definitely not enough. As the first game was 25 minutes, it looks like this one will be very slightly longer, but it's still just as dominant. As there you have it, Dplus Kia will be taking the 2-0 here tonight over the DN SOOPers.
Pick it up right where they left off at Kesbrook, up right where they left off against Bro. This team incredibly dominant, just like we saw at the beginning of 2025. A 4-0 start here.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.